do you do to become an influencer?
Scrub the floor.
No,
Yeah,
thank
but you
you.
have to scrub the floor in a special way, don't you? Otherwise, you're just down to kind of, hey guys, this is a pen. I've got a pen here. This is an incredible thing. Look, the top comes off like that. There's kind of about five colors that you can get it in. It doesn't write upside down because there's ink in this little bit here. This is incredible, guys. Go and get one. I mean, it's just, it's
brilliant.
Bic is coming for you now. Bic is going to be after you big time.
You see, I kind of big time.
Big time.
Big time.
You are
Time.
a big
That's what you
influencer,
could
babe.
call it. This is my big time. Oh, brilliant, Harriet.
Yeah, they are going to be after you, babes.
I don't think there's ever been a better time to do, and it wouldn't be called, of course, Perfect Housewife, but I do think that there is a space now to start to look at just life skills, just living, just normal living life skills that where we learn that soap and water doesn't cost anything, because especially when you're, as you will know, Harriet, when you are a mum on your own, you have to be ridiculously organized to be able to spin all those plates. And if you're not, they're falling off all over the place. And I worry that those life skills are not being discussed, and it's more.
So would your new program be survival life skills?
So I think it's
something like that.
But yes. You know that
And
sort of
also
SAS program. I think this is SAS for homes.
Yes. Or AKA in tiny little letters. The Perfect Housewife.
No, never have housewife.
No.
I never ever wanted to cook. I never had I just liked to eat, but I didn't like to cook. And I don't know why. It never appeared. It was like something that she did.
You missed that punchline there. It's the wickedest one we've had today. I just love to eat.
I don't know why I was never inspired to learn to cook. It's weird, isn't it?
And you still don't, do you, darling?
No, darling. Four-lettered word.
Well, why not? When you can get somebody to do it for you.
I first started singing really young. I didn't want to go to Sunday school, so I wanted to sing instead. And there was a period of time where I wanted to be a vicar, not because I felt any religious convictions or I felt I had any pastoral gifts, but because the vicar got to sing every Sunday.
Right, I'm going to find out all about the music business. And after 6 months there, I was like, I'm ready. I've got this handful of songs. I now know people in the business. Great. So I'm going to pack in my job and sign a record deal. So I packed in my job and cleaned office floors for 2 years because nobody wanted to sign me.
I'm extremely pleased to finally have my new voice. I've always wanted a Geordie accent. So it means a lot to me to finally be able to sound like my family and friends. Competition for my new voice was very tough indeed. In fact, I was overwhelmed by the response from my fellow Geordies, and it made the job of choosing the right voice very difficult. But in the end, this voice was the one that I kept coming back to and listening to over and over again.
One evening we discovered that a friend of a friend of a friend was Kylie Minogue, and Kylie Minogue had come to see the show that night, allegedly. So I said, because I'm so childish, I said, let's see how many times Kylie Minogue song titles we can get into the show tonight.
A chef, I'd be the one. I thought about this. I thought about if you were doing MasterChef, they would come up to me and I take so long to prep the food that what's his name would go, what was his name go, Bob, we got 5 minutes. You're still prepping the food, Bob. You're still prepping the food. It takes me so long. And I also drink when I cook.
Yes.
So I'll be drunk by the time the food comes out. So no,
Brilliant.
it'd be terrible.
How was your vegan Christmas?
The best yet. But we found a nut roast that works. That's great. That doesn't taste like paper. So it tastes nutty. That nutty and moist. No,
don't like nuts.
Don't like nutty. But that was great. And we did loads of other things. This Ottolenghi is my hero, and I did another one from Flavour, which is my favourite cookbook of his, and it smashed out. But so all the food was great.
You know, you give birth to 3 girls and then suddenly they're not girls. And so you just have to get your head around that. And I think I would just accept my kids, whoever they are. I just want my children to show up as themselves and feel that they are loved and celebrated, whoever they are.
My conversations with my friends completely changed. The same group of guys that I was going to the gym with, we would meet twice a week and we'd go walking around the park. And some of the things that we would start talking about, you know, these would be conversations that we wouldn't have time to talk about because we'd be traveling to work. We'd be at work all day. We'd come home. What do you want for dinner? So socially, I think things changed anyway. And I also think because a lot of relationships did suffer in lockdown, the whole dating game just moved, the trajectory just moved.
Yeah, it certainly did, because actually, the only time I actually did a dating app, I was getting the most ridiculous pic from the age of about 18 to 95, I would say.
Did you know, dear?
18, you need energy, girl.
Yeah, 18 to 95.
I think it's 2003, standing on a rooftop in LA, singing with Stevie Wonder. I think for me,
my goodness, I thought you were going to say doing Panto with the Crankies.
no, darling, no, that's yet to come.
Oh, right.
But yeah, Stevie Wonder was sitting there, and do you know what, ladies? He was a consummate pro. He was the first one there. He had no entourage. He had his brother and his PA. He was the first one at this video shoot. He was so excited to be there, and then he was one of the last to leave. And do you know what? Lasting memory I've got of that is one of the supporting artists asked him to sing a cappella, and we were like, "No, man, you can't really do that. That's a bit embarrassing." And he went, "No, that's not a problem, man. I could do some a cappella." And he stood up and he started singing My Cheryl Moore. And it was like, I'm done. Look, my hair's gone up. I'm done. This is just the best.
My arms now.
I was staying in their spare room in the middle of the night. It was about 2:30 in the morning. He came in with just his boxers on. And I went, "Bobby?" He went, "Oh, sorry, I was sleepwalking." I said, "Were you?" we dined out on that forever because Yvonne was going, "Bobby," and she grabbed him by his boxer. "Come back here and get in your bloody bed. You're in Sherry's room." And he was getting into bed with me. We never let him forget that.
But I loved Dan. I couldn't believe Pauline Collins was playing my mum, and she was amazing. And we actually grew to look like each other, which was really weird.
She's and also the thing is about her is she's so naughty, isn't she?
Oh, she's terrible.
She's so rude.
She did this game. We did this game, and this was Pauline. I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I'll say it anyway. It's funny. And she said, "Right, okay, girls, which one do you reckon you'd have on this crew?" And we had this competition.
It was just a magic that came off that plastic when you listen to it. And then I was living in London at the time, so when it actually came out, I remember I was staying in Amsterdam. I was walking down the main street, and they had all these boutiques, and it was coming out of all the boutiques. It was out of all the boutiques. I think, I'm walking along, and I go, "Oh, that's me."
And it, Chris, it still has the same magic.
I remember our manager phoned me up on the Tuesday morning when the charts come out, and he said, "You've just come into the charts." And so I didn't even have any money to get the bus into Carnaby. I had to walk all the way to Carnaby Street.
This memory as a little girl of a nightmare is losing my mum and my sister. I see them running ahead of me on the beach, and I can't reach them. And I was scared, and that's the first nightmare I remember. And it's very common, isn't it? Not being able to reach people you love is a very common nightmare early on.
And a common occurrence for you, Harriet, that people flee in terror when they see you.
Richard, I'm hearing a whining sound, darling. I'm so sorry.
I'm hearing a winding down sign. Yeah.
My darling mum was very beautiful. She had Elizabeth Taylor's shoulders and a décolletage. I got my father's chest.
I can now understand why you all fell in love with acting. I can understand that, and playing someone that's not yourself, which I've never really done. I'm loving it because nothing I'm wearing is what I would wear normally, including the underwear. Yeah, just a bit of information.
You got to sing Imagine 20 minutes before I go on stage. I said, well, I don't know the song. I haven't sung this song since I was 11 years old. He goes, well, here's my laptop. Good bloody luck. I said, thanks, mate. So I learned the whole song of Imagine there and then, went on stage. It was like an a Sonic the Hedgehog, you know, jumping on stage, because I'm this short little thing jumping on stage. It's like a pocket rocket decided to get out of the pocket and start singing. So I jump on the stage, not that type of pocket rocket, girls. Now, ladies, come on. We're not in America. No. And so I jump on stage, I start singing, and at the end of the song, I realized I forgot and made up the entire bloody last verse.
The woman that was doing it, she was very nice, but she had a very horrible voice, and it made you want to giggle because she spoke sort of like that. And so they need to get someone else.